Honestly, 2026 might be one of the most important years the superhero genre has had in a very long time. Because now the question isn't just which movie will make the most money. The real question is superhero fatigue finally killing the genre, or are we actually watching the beginning of its comeback? And honestly, I think the answer is more complicated than people realize. For the last few years, superhero fatigue became one of the biggest conversations online. Everywhere you looked, YouTube comments, Reddit threads, TikTok, Twitter, people kept saying the same thing. I'm tired. Another multiverse movie? Another CGI skybeam? Another universe-ending threat? And honestly, I get it. After more than 15 years of non-stop superhero content, audiences started feeling overwhelmed. It wasn't just Marvel anymore. Every studio wanted a cinematic universe. Every movie needed post-credit scenes, cameos, timelines, multiverse rules, setup for future projects, and eventually people stopped feeling excited. It started feeling like homework. And I think that's the biggest problem the genre ran into. At its peak, superhero movies felt like events. Now, sometimes they feel like obligations. Look at Phase 5, for example. Some projects still worked, but a lot of them felt repetitive. Too many stories blending together. Too many jokes that sounded identical. Too many giant CGI finales where entire cities are floating in the sky again. Even longtime MCU fans admitted they skipped certain movies or waited for streaming because the urgency just wasn't there anymore. And honestly, that would have sounded impossible back in the Endgame era. I mean, remember 2018 to 19? Superhero movies basically dominated pop culture. Everybody was talking about Infinity War and Endgame. Even casual audiences who normally didn't care about comics showed up because those movies felt massive and emotional and important. But after that, the genre kind of lost focus for a while. Too much quantity, not enough identity. And I think audiences noticed that immediately. But here's the interesting part. In 2026, things suddenly feel different again. Not fully fixed, but different. Because now, both Marvel and DC seem to understand that audiences don't just want more superhero stuff anymore. They want projects that actually feel unique, personal, risky, memorable. Take Marvel, for example. Instead of immediately trying to top Endgame with non-stop multiverse chaos again, Spider-Man Brand New Day seems to be scaling things down emotionally. Peter Parker is alone now. Nobody remembers him. He's broke, exhausted, isolated, and just trying to survive as Spider-Man in New York. And honestly, that sounds refreshing.
I think people are craving grounded stories again. Smaller emotional stakes, character-focused storytelling, real consequences. Because sometimes watching Peter Parker struggle to pay rent feels more relatable than watching another universe collapse into purple CGI clouds. But then, Marvel also understands something else. Event movies still matter. That's why Avengers Doomsday feels so important. This movie isn't being marketed like just another crossover. It feels like Marvel knows this has to be special. Robert Downey Jr. returning as Dr. Doom instantly made people pay attention again. The Russo brothers coming back made people pay attention. Suddenly, the excitement came back because people felt like Marvel was building towards something meaningful again, instead of just endlessly expanding. And honestly, I think that balance is the future. Smaller personal stories mixed with occasional huge event movies that actually feel earned. Now, over on the DC side, James Gunn is doing something really smart too. Instead of trying to immediately copy Marvel's old formula, DC is experimenting with tone and genre. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, looks emotional, brutal, and cosmic. It doesn't feel like a generic superhero movie. Clayface is literally becoming a psychological body horror film inside the DC universe. And I mean, come on, a horror-focused Clayface movie? 10 years ago, studios probably would have been too scared to even attempt that. But that's exactly why people are curious now, because audiences are hungry for surprise again. I think superhero fatigue is real, but I don't think people are tired of superheroes themselves. I think people are tired of sameness. That's the difference. When every movie starts feeling structurally identical, audiences naturally pull away. But when something genuinely fresh appears, people still show up. Look at movies like The Batman, or even shows like Invincible. Those projects succeeded because they had identity. They felt like creators actually had a vision instead of just checking franchise boxes. And honestly, I think that's the biggest lesson Hollywood is learning right now. Fans are more selective now. People don't automatically buy tickets just because there's a superhero logo on the poster anymore. You actually have to earn audience excitement again.
And weirdly enough, I think that's healthy for the genre, because now studios can't rely purely on hype. They need strong writing, strong direction, real emotional stakes. 2026 honestly feels like a turning point because of that. If Spider-Man Brand New Day delivers emotionally, if Doomsday truly feels epic, if Supergirl surprises audiences, if Clayface becomes the weird horror hit nobody expected, suddenly the conversation changes completely. Suddenly, superhero movies stop feeling dead. Instead, they start feeling evolved. And honestly, I think that's what we're witnessing right now. Not the death of the genre, but the end of the lazy era. The future probably belongs to projects willing to take risks, more grounded stories, more genre experimentation, more emotional storytelling, less formula, less content, because audiences still love heroes. They just want reasons to care again. And I think that's the real challenge for Marvel and DC moving forward. Not making bigger movies, making movies people actually remember. What do you guys think, squad? Do you still feel superhero fatigue in 2026? Or are you finally getting excited again? Which movie this year has the best chance to bring people back? Spider-Man, Doomsday, Supergirl, or Clayface? And honestly, do you prefer smaller, grounded stories now? Or do you still want giant crossover chaos every year? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I genuinely think this is one of the biggest turning points superhero movies have faced in years. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next breakdown. We'll see you in the next video.